So what's going on with right-wing rises in the West? Look, I don't think there is an increase in right-wing activity per se in the West. I think it's an illusion, and it's an illusion born out of sort of an opposition to left-wing activism or something like that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend or something like that. There are people that are jumping into bed with guys like Paul Joseph Watson and that sort of, like, maybe not Alex Jones, but some maybe Candace Owens, who probably are right-wing people, but or at least free-thinking people. But the popularity of those guys is exacerbated or amplified due to a opposition to left-wing activism. I think that about 20, 30 years ago, I'm not the first person to say this, but there was people worked out that activism worked probably in the 60s with civil rights movement in America, and people worked out that if you could protest, if you could boycott, and even some people are like suing. If you say the wrong thing, they'll try and sue you. They probably won't win in court, but your lawyers always end up settling. Otherwise, the lawyers get all the money, and so they put pressure on anyone that has an opinion other to their own. I've seen it happen online a lot. The saying to corporations, if you don't ditch this celebrity who said the wrong thing as your sponsor, then we'll never buy your products again. And certainly getting people kicked off Twitter is one. It seems to be, well, at least it started almost entirely from the left, and then just centrist, libertarian sort of people that just want to be left alone, don't tread on me sort of thing. Thought, well, someone needs to oppose this, so they're jumping on board with the right wing. But I don't think they necessarily have right wing values. It's bad for the left because the left aren't engaging in conversation and dialogue. It's bad for the right because the right's getting flooded with people who aren't really right wing. And it's bad for these centrist people because they're not really right wing and they're going to have some cognitive dissonance at some point. I'll give you just one example of what I saw. We had a female prime minister here in Australia called Julia Gillard, and she was the first female PM we ever had. And you'd always get some political commentator on the radio who would say something like, the Attorney General's cooked, he should be thrown to the dogs, we should put his head on his pike, he should be put on ice, and say all these sort of metaphors for being executed. Or then it came time for the same political commentators to talk about Julia Gillard, and they would say something like, off with her head, or some sort of thing like, she's got more flies on her than a corpse, or something like that. And there was just this group of core feminists in Australia that decided, well, that's misogynistic speak. They're talking about killing women. They're not. They're talking about replacing a prime minister who's not doing a very good job. But they managed to flip it. And I remember a particular time on a show called Sunrise where just 5 women, but 5 sort of like quasi-celebrity women, were able to get a live cross to their protest every day. There was just 5 of them dressed up as witches. That's all it was. And Van Badham was the name of the lady that was in charge of it. And then because it was on the news, people started tweeting about it. Because people started tweeting about it, it started trending. And next thing you know, it was just 5 people created this wave of, not change, but at least focus on a particular issue and turned the Overton window, as they say. And then political commentators everywhere just started changing the way they speak. And maybe they changed it for the better. Maybe they didn't say these sorts of things anymore. But the average Joe, the average human, becomes skeptical of this sort of thing, sees a conspiracy theory, thinks that there's some evil intent behind it all. I think this is where it's all started from. I don't see like right-wing values becoming more important amongst the people. I just see that centrist sort of people are jumping on board with right-wing values just to oppose the left, because quite frankly, the left sucks right now. All right, guys, thanks for listening. That's my opinion. I'll see you in a new video shortly. Bye.